"Your Honor, it was just a joke." If people are still homeless, that's their problem, not mine. Those words echoed through the courtroom, captured on camera in a moment that would soon spread across the internet and alter a teenager's life forever. A 16-year-old sat before Judge Judy, smirking as she read out the charges: felony vandalism, destruction of property, and hate crimes against a protected group. But this case was far from ordinary. This teenager had broadcast himself live while tearing apart a homeless shelter, mocking the residents as failures who deserved their situation, all while hundreds of thousands of followers cheered him on. What unfolded over the next 19 minutes would become one of the most widely viewed courtroom moments of 2024, watched tens of millions of times across the globe. Yet, when those cameras began recording, no one realized the deeper truth behind the case. The shelter he had destroyed wasn't just any building. It had been built by his own father, and the truth about that father, one that Judge Judy was about to reveal, would dismantle everything the boy believed about success, strength, and worth. It would transform him from a cruel, entitled teenager into someone forced to confront the reality he had spent years mocking. Tyler Chin believed he understood the world. At just 16, he had grown up surrounded by wealth and privilege. His father, Marcus Chen, was a powerful real estate developer who owned extensive commercial property across Connecticut. Tyler's life had been one where money fixed problems and status guaranteed success. He drove a luxury car gifted on his birthday. He lived in a massive home filled with every comfort imaginable. His wardrobe alone cost more than what many families spent in months. And online he had built a following, hundreds of thousands strong, by creating so-called prank content. But his humor came at the expense of others. He mocked homeless individuals, ridiculed workers, and humiliated anyone he considered beneath him. In Tyler's mind, society was simple. There were winners, and there were losers. Winners were people like his father, relentless, ambitious, successful. Losers were people who struggled, who needed help, who failed to climb. He believed poverty was a choice, that hardship was weakness, that his own success proved his superiority. And then came the night that brought him to court. Late in October, Tyler and 3 friends broke into the Riverside Community Shelter in Providence. What followed was recorded in full. Loving into his camera, Tyler streamed every second. They defaced walls with crude messages, destroyed donated winter clothing, smashed computers used for job applications, and in an act that stunned even seasoned investigators, poured bleach over food meant to feed hundreds. The next morning, he proudly showed the damage to his audience. "Look at this place," he said. "These people should stop begging and get real jobs. Maybe this will wake them up." But this wasn't his first offense. At 14, he had stolen electronics for a viral challenge. His family's lawyers ensured minimal consequences. At 15, he vandalized a memorial at his school, again escaping serious punishment. Each time, the lesson was reinforced. Money erased mistakes. As he entered the courtroom that Tuesday afternoon, Tyler carried that same confidence. He barely acknowledged the judge. Earbuds still in place, he scrolled through his phone, indifferent to the seriousness of the charges. When asked if he understood why he was there, he shrugged. "People overreacted," he said. "Just tell me the fine." The courtroom shifted uncomfortably. Judge Judy, composed but firm, ordered him to put the phone away. He complied reluctantly, clearly annoyed. She laid out the facts, the destruction, the harm, the impact. Tyler dismissed it all. "It was just stuff," he said. "Nothing serious." She pressed him further. Did he feel any regret? He rolled his eyes. "No," he replied. Those people need to stop making excuses. My dad came from nothing and built everything. Anyone can do that. The judge studied him carefully. So you believe people in those shelters deserve contempt? She asked. Yes, he answered confidently. What exactly did your father tell you about his journey? She continued. Tyler spoke with pride. About hard work, sacrifice, success. The judge paused. Is your father here today? Tyler turned, spotting him in the back row. He waved casually, unaware of what was about to unfold. Judge Judy revealed that Marcus had requested to attend, that he had something important to share. Confusion crept into Tyler's voice. Then came the turning point. That shelter, the judge said quietly, was built by your father. Silence filled the room. She explained how Marcus had personally designed it, funded it, and remained involved for decades. Tyler stared, stunned. That doesn't make sense, he said. He never told me that. The judge's tone softened slightly. Because he never told you the full truth about his past. At that moment, Marcus stood. With quiet determination, he approached the front of the courtroom. Your Honor, he said, may I speak to my son? Permission granted, he faced Tyler. Everything she said is true, Marcus began. But there's more I never told you. His voice carried the weight of years. I didn't come to America as a businessman, he said. I came as a refugee with almost nothing. Tyler's expression shifted. For 3 years, Marcus continued, I was homeless. The words struck like thunder. He described sleeping in subways, searching for food, enduring violence, and relying on shelters to survive. I was one of the people you mocked, he said. Tyler shook his head, unable to accept it. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Marcus answered simply, because I was ashamed. I wanted you to see strength, not struggle. He explained how hiding the truth had created a dangerous lesson, one that led Tyler to despise the very people who had once saved his father's life. Then he spoke about the shelter, how it had restored his dignity, how a social worker had helped him rebuild his life. That place you destroyed, he said, gave me everything I needed to survive. Tyler broke down completely. I didn't know, he cried. That's the problem, Marcus replied. You were never taught to understand. Turning to the judge, Marcus made a request. He asked that his son face full consequences. No protection, no shortcuts. Judge Judy nodded. She delivered her verdict, guilty on all counts. Then came the sentence. 6 months in juvenile detention. Restitution to be earned through his own labor, hundreds of hours of service at the very shelter he had destroyed. A suspension of his social media presence, public accountability, education, reflection. Tyler accepted it through tears. The courtroom responded with emotion, applause, tears, recognition of what had just taken place. Father and son embraced. This is love, Marcus said quietly. Not protection, but truth. The footage spread rapidly across the world, but the real transformation happened afterward. Tyler served his sentence. He read, reflected, and wrote apologies. When he returned to the shelter, something changed. He listened, he learned, he saw people, not labels. Their stories reshaped his understanding. He stayed even after his required hours were complete. He spoke publicly about his mistakes. He worked alongside his father to share their story. Over time, the relationship between them changed, from one built on image to one rooted in honesty, and as one shelter director later said, people can change. Sometimes they just need the truth.